and everything just went. So, but we are back now. While you were gone, I just used the time to cut myself another peacock body because I don't really know what happened to that one. So we're back on track. That's all I've done in that little time that you were unable to see me. I am going to. I didn't get time. I should have done this while you were not watching, to clean this dye out because I do need it for both of the other demos that we're going to do on live. But there's only a couple of little bits. Right, so let's have a look at what we are going to colour with. So you can hear the bulbarian. That's just sort of agitating the pearlescent part. So I've got, what have I got? Turquoise Cascade, Golden Sunrise. I have got Holly Green. I have got Ray of Sunshine. Oh, this one I'm not sure if I'll use or not, but we'll see. That one's nearly navy. And then this one isn't pearlescent. This one's just watercolouring, and that's Peacock Teal. So those are the ones I've got. Now, we're going to use some of these to paint our peacock tail. Now, I have no idea what this was from, but it was one of those things I must have thought, oh, let's not throw that way because that looks really good. But actually, it is perfect for what I want because I only need a few little drops of the ink, and then I don't really want to have to use a massive palette. So I'm just, for those of you, I have used these before in videos, but that's a while back, so we haven't actually sort of looked at them for a while. So they come in this glass bottle, and they have this top with a depressor here, and that depressor is attached to a little pipette. Okay, so the pearlescent ones, it's really important that you give them a shake to agitate the pearlescent part and mix it with the ink, and then if you just depress the stopper, get a little bit of ink in there, and then press it. I'm just going to put a few drops of each for the moment because I'm not gonna paint it all, as it is quite it's a really nice thing to do. It's not necessarily a really interesting thing to watch. So I'm just going to put little bits in now, and we'll see how we go, and I'll explain how I created the colours I did. And you can see, hopefully the camera can pick up the pearlescence in those inks. And this one, I will put some out. I'm not sure. I think I might have just added this one in because it was a pearlescent one, but I'm not really sure whether I used it much or not. This one, I don't know why I'm shaking because it's not pearlescent. I was like, oh no, the one that is peacock isn't pearlescent. However, it's an oops, we'll go in that one. It's an absolutely beautiful peacock blue colour. Okay, so those are the inks that we're going to use, and we'll start with this little plumy bit on his sort of bottom. It is he, because this is a peacock. Hens are brown, so it is the male, mostly in the bird world. The male is always the bright one, and the female is always the kind of just plain one. Right, so for this, I know that I mixed some of the holly green and some of the, is it Ray of Sunshine? I'm terrible at mixing colours. Not at mixing them, but just at contaminating things. And I used that. I might actually have used more of that by the look of it in there. And I literally just covered that. I had, when when I was doing it, I kind of looked at, oh, that wasn't what I meant to do, never mind. I did look at pictures of peacocks to see sort of what colours were used where. So yeah, so I'm going to use that also on, in fact I need more yellow than that, so let's go in with this yellow one here, on legs and feet. Now I've got too much water on my brush, so I'm not picking up the really nice pearlescence of that there. I am going to just grab a piece of paper to put under, just because it will absorb that extra ink as opposed to just sploshing it everywhere. And I'm going to get a little bit of kitchen roll to clean up what I've got on the mat. Just keep the area a little bit cleaner. Okay, so for the body, I've used this turquoise cascade, this one, which is the perfect colour. And can you see, even just sitting in my little pot here, the pearlescent, the stuff that makes pearlescent drops to the bottom. So give it a good mix before you you go. Now I'm just gonna cover the body. Now if you look at the, let's bring that in. If you look at the peacock, it has this kind of white stripe above its eye and below its eye. So we want to try to keep that in. So we're just going to come up there and go round, go in sort of to the eye there, and then up here. We also want a little bit sort of around the beak because it's kind of a bit like a stripe there. So, and then I'm going to add a bit more of this yellowy rum into the beak. Now, I will, once this is a bit drier, I'll go back in with my a black pen, a black fine liner, to just highlight the eye. So now this is the one that I'm not going to, I've already got one painted, so I will only measurements and all sorts on that. I keep all my scrap pieces of paper for this kind of thing. So what I've done is I've kind of tried to follow the idea of the peacock feathers, which as you see further out is easier because you get this kind of yellow part and then blue, and then you get the sort of black part in the middle. But down here wasn't quite so easy, so I kind of went for this greeny colour that I'd mixed to sort of mimic here. So that's kind of similar to what, oh, I'm covering this little bit that's caught on the bottom of my palette, this bit here, to mimic that. And then you have to bear with me because I just tend to do random mixing when I'm painting. So it was definitely a little bit of this blue, some of this blue, to get a nice kind of pearlescence in there. And then there we go, look at that beautiful colour. I'll just go out a little bit. Now I kind of tried to follow peacock colours, but you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you don't. Just go with whatever, you know, whatever you fancy, whatever you think looks good. So then we go into this this one. This is what this one's called, Golden something or other, I think Golden Sunrise. And now again, this is where I would probably, no, not probably, definitely, I'm gonna blot it because otherwise it's just gonna bleed. It's better to leave and go and do something else further out than try and do what I'm trying to do right now, which is to go right next to, because it will mix, as you can see. It's not the end of the world, but it depends whether you are happy with that kind of effect or whether you would prefer to for it to not be mixing. Okay, so then I did more of this. So this is a mix of the Turquoise Cascade pearlescent and the Peacock Teal, which is not pearlescent. So I got that out as far as there. It's well worth having, like you can see, a piece of card, even, you know, if not necessarily a waste piece of card. It could be, you know, have a piece of rice paper underneath to soak this all up. I'm just using a scrap piece, so I'm going to waste a fair bit of ink, but you know, it's okay. Okay. Now from here out, you can see that the they start to have those proper eyes that you know, you kind of used to seeing on a peacock feather. So I'm just kind of still using this holly green with the golden ray of sunshine. I felt the holly green itself wasn't sort of the green that I wanted. So what I did, I'm just trying to remember, I think I'm going to take the water off that. I think I've used a much thinner brush for this because I was getting a bit faffy now. So I was kind of doing the edges here with the green. So I would go around all of these like this with the green. This is why I said it's quite a very therapeutic thing to do. It's not necessarily the most interesting thing to watch. And you would do that up through also up here on this level, here too. Making sure you keep mixing the paint so that you're getting that pearlescent coming through. Now it doesn't have to be perfect. Even in nature, the things are not necessarily perfect. So then I would use this golden sunshine, and I was coming in here and here. Sorry, this is why me painting on a live is not necessarily the greatest thing, because I do tend to just drift away. Okay, so same here. Over there. And then quite a bit on my brush there. And then oh, I need to go around those bits as well, don't I? And then going back in with this mix of the Turquoise Cascade and the Peacock Teal. And then just going around the top like that of each one. So yeah, it's a little bit fiddly, it's a bit faffy. It's whether you want to take the time. For me, I just love doing this sort of stuff. And so you would keep going on all of that, and you would end up with basically that. Okay, what I have done in addition on this one is I've gone in with my black pen and just added that, like, that really dark center that you get on the eyes of peacock feathers. So let's just have a little bit of a clean up here. There's our, put this to one side. Get my brushes away before I ruin those. That one in there. Okie dokie. I'll put that somewhere where I'm not going to knock it over. Right, so we've now got our pieces, and I just need to get my in fact I'm going to use the brush one. And I am literally going to just add in, oh, my brush marker seems to have run out. So you can see I've added in the eye, and then that gives the real definition. That's a shame. To that. So now it's just a case of assembling our peacock. So our feathers go like this, and this is one that I would again use a spray on. So bear with me, I'm going to get my spray out. Ooh. I am, bear with me, going to put my lid on my water and move it out of the way before it covers everything. Okay, so here's my peacock feathers. Grab my spray. And I'm just going to give that a bit of a spray. Remember, it needs about 30 seconds for it to, I don't really know what it does in those 30 seconds, but you need 30 seconds for it to be ready to stick. And we have this and this ready, and that's pretty much us done then. So stick our peacock feathers on, and then I'm going to use some 3D glue gel just to give our little peacock a bit of dimension. On there, and then our peacock needs a little bit more, and here goes, like so. And there we have our peacock easel card. Okay, now does that show all right on the overhead like that? Yeah, hopefully you can see that. So that's pretty much how the die set is created, how it's what it's made to do to create our lovely peacock. But what I want to show you is other ways of using this die, which I think is just amazing. I love it. Other than just creating an actual peacock. Okay, so we'll put that one to the side. That one's going to dry. And we will get ourselves ready for the next card. So this one here uses the same die to create this doily, and it's when I had the idea and didn't know how well it would actually work, but actually they fit over so perfectly that it's really difficult to see where the two have been joined. So we're going to use this part of the die to create our doily. We are going to use, so I have used, I think I used this one on this card, and I've made, no, this is the one I've used on this card. Not that it really makes any difference to you. I've used this one on the card. This one I've got made up ready. So let's just have a look. Let's remind ourselves of how these things work. So this is from the same collection, the Amy Design Colourful Feathers. And this is the one of the 3D push-outs. You'll find with a lot of the Amy Design and Janine's art, they come with these little sets of push-out things, and they are really rather nice. They're small, and you think, oh, I can only make small cards, but actually you can, you know, it depends what you put it with, and there's plenty more in the collection that you can team it up with. So we are just going to remind ourselves how to do these. They are numbered, and there are 3 on every sheet. So the numbers are in different colours. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. They all go together because they're the same colour. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. They are all the same colour. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And those numbers are all the same colour. So it's really, really not well straightforward. Yes, I think straightforward may be the right excuse me. Oh, word. It kind of helps you. It sort of takes out as much of the sort of guesswork as possible. And if you do take them out and forget which is which, what you're looking for is going from the largest bits to the smallest bits. So I've turned it over and I have run my ball tool. I can't find my large. Oh, there's my largest tool. Hiding. Run my largest ball tool over the back around where the die cut part is, and most of the time it all comes out. Not all the time. That one has. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move my card out of the way. I'm going to put my layers next to here so I don't lose them. And occasionally like this you get a little pip. You can either just pull like I have there or get a little pair of scissors. So I know that that is my next layer. And then we'll do this one. And let's see, I might just give that a bit more. Sometimes it just needs a little bit more rubbing. Although do be careful with the smaller bits that you don't rip them. So we know that that's our next layer. And then here, that's out, is that pretty much? And that is our top layer. Oh, yeah, I can see the little bit there I have to be careful with. So that's our top layer. Okay, so that's our third one from our so if I show you that one, we've got, oh, hello, this one. We've got this one, which I've got, oh, excuse me, reaching up the view. This one, which I've got ready made for this card that we're about to do. And then this one is the third one. So those are three absolutely gorgeous peacock themed little decoupage bits from that set. So let's grab a little bit of card. So that's our base layer. I'm going to grab our 3D glue gel. I'm just going to use my fingers to slightly shape it. I'm going to put some glue gel on the back. As well. Okay, so you do want to try, it's not always easy to be above so you can see where you're placing your pieces. Not always easy, but... and then which way up does that go? That way? Maybe no, it does go that way. So I'm just a little bit of puff there. There we go. That's how it goes. I'm just going to grab my thing because I've just managed to flatten that a little bit. There's that. Okay. Then we've got this layer. And you can see, as I was saying, you know, that things get smaller. So this bit, excuse me, I've got glue on me now. This bit is smaller than this bit because it doesn't have the flower. So that bit goes on the top there. And then these flowers will go on top here. They don't have the foliage, so they're slightly smaller than the previous little bit. Goes there. Like so. And then our last little piece is here. It's just the body of the peacock there. If we can get that to go down. You can use foam pads. It certainly gives you a more instant stick, but I do kind of like the ability to wiggle them around. And where's this one going to go? Oh, that was going to go there then. Okay, so there you go. That's the third of the 3D push outs from, sorry, probably gone way off camera there, just chasing it off. So that's the third of these beautiful peacock 3D push outs. So we've got these are the three that come from that particular set. Oh, dislodged that. Okay, that one I'm going to put over there because this one's already dry, ready for our card. So we are going to do a little bit of inking now for our background. Shall I do that first? No, let's do the cutting first before I get myself all messy. So I have my background card, and look, this way up. So I have my layer there, and we're going to make our next inky layer. So let's just stick that one on, and I know it's done. I already, as you can see in here, I have my little circle cut, my little oval cut for my topper. And I already have one of the peacock feathers cut that will form part of the doily, but I need to cut the other one. So let's cut that first. And we'll run it through probably a couple of times just to make sure it's all cut properly. My fingers are starting to get inky and dirty. And we'll just put that to one side. I've got different bits of card. They've got some watercolour card by the feel of it. So we may have a go with this on watercolour card rather than Stampin' card, but we'll see. We'll see. Oh, sorry, I got totally like, what am I doing? We're cutting the die out. Right, okie dokie. So let's run this through our machine. Oh dear, I really need to grow some arms or grow longer arms. Right, I'm going to put it that way. We're going to put it there. I'm going to put the magnetic on this time. Here we go through our machine. So we need some inks for this. Now, ooh, here we go. I have got slightly, I think, if you bear with me, I think I've got slightly, no I haven't, I've got the same inks. Oh, now that cut first time this time. Probably because it's not quite such a heavyweight cardstock. So, let's get this out of here. And we don't want that. Clean off the dye. I feel like I'm doing that thing of working in an ever decreasing space. There we go. All the rubbish. Just pick the dye out. Okay, I'm just going to try and get as much of that out because we do need it for the last demo as well. Really important. I know I've said this before if you've watched me before. If you don't get these little bits out, you think, oh, well, they're only tiny. The problem is that by leaving them in, when you run this through the next time, the pressure in that area will be different, and so you won't get such a good cut. And that's when you start thinking, oh, this dye doesn't cut very well. So try and get in the habit, she says, of cleaning your dyes out. Right, so this is going to help me form my doily. And if you look, if I just slowly You see how beautifully, perfectly they fit on top of each other to create that absolutely wonderful circle doily. Okay, we can't stick that down yet because we need to do our inky stuff. So I actually have got myself an inky mat so that I'm not causing myself too much grief. So we are going to use Wild Honey Blueprint Sketch, Distress Oxide, of course they're Distress Oxide, I can read that, Peacock Feathers and Lucky Clover. And I've kind of gone with taking the colours from the peacock. So you can see I've got my blueprint sketch from here. I've gone with the Wild Honey for the sort of yellowy bits on the feathers. We've got the Lucky Clover for the green. And well, Peacock Feathers is Peacock Feathers, so you have to use it really, don't you? Okay, so let's grab some brushes and we'll have a go. Looks like I've been messing around with my peacock feathers there. So what do I want? I want one for my Wild Honey. Bear with me. Let me bring it in. I have all my brushes in a big turny table thing, and it just takes me to decide what I want. That one for Blueprint Sketch. I don't have one for every colour, if you're looking at this thinking, oh my god. I don't. I kind of have sort of them for kind of groups of colours so I can kind of roughly see what will go, so I don't contaminate my pads too much, although it looks like I have been on that, but not to worry. So we are going to start with the Wild Honey. Now this will look a bit odd, and it kind of feels like it's not gonna all come together, but it does. So I'm just putting the yellow on. It isn't a sort of a main colour, so you're probably wondering why there's so much. Well, it will disappear. It will just kind of fade away into the rest of the colours as you start to add them. Okay, so I'm just going to start to add a little bit in and around, going over the yellow, starting to sort of incorporate the yellow into the other colours. So you can see that the yellow starts to kind of, it's there, but it's not like in your face like it looked like it would be when I first started. So I keep going with more of the Lucky Clover. Okay. And then I'm going to go in with the peacock feathers. So you can see how the green, excuse me, just move my chair, how the green and the yellow are now kind of, they're there, but they're kind of disappearing a little bit. They're not like the main focus. So don't worry if you're going over them. You can always, the thing with Distress Oxides is if you heat set, you can always go back over. I'm just checking how much I need. I've probably got enough sort of on there. So I'm going to take my yellow, go back over a little bit. So I'm getting a little bit of the yellow. And then I'm going to put some of the blue on. And this kind of gives it quite a different feel. You can see probably with the, while they're wet, they're really quite blendable. So if you kind of feel like, oh, like that, I feel like I've gone a bit muddy up there. Rather than seeing the blue, what you're seeing is kind of a muddy, mucky bit. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to get my peacock feathers back and just go over that a little bit more. And then that sort of lifts that back out from being too muddy. Okay. I just realised that was sliding nearer and nearer and nearer to me. Okay, so I'm going to put the lids back on these now. And I'm going to give that a little bit of a heat blast purely. Otherwise, I'm going to just end up with more and more ink on my fingers. Gonna put those in there as well. So, my heat gun. Oh, there we go. I'm not wanting to completely dry it. I just want it enough that I'm not just, when I start cutting it in a moment, I'm not just getting ink everywhere else. Right. You can see I've got quite a different look. I haven't gone as blue as I did with the previous one. And that's the thing with when you're making inky backgrounds, you are never, ever going to get the same. I'm just going to move my ink mat out of the way. You're never, ever going to get the same effect twice. You see, I'm much more green than blue on this one. Let's just see, is that going to work? Yeah, it'll be fine because it tones very well in with that. So we are going to just measure this now. I'm just going to cut one edge. Squeak, 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 excuse me. Just going to go down there. And then this is another reason why I've kind of tried to draw it, because I want to turn it over so that I can decide how big I want this. And then turn it around again. And so, yeah, so I'm just cut that down to size. And that's going to go that way, or did I cut it that way? One of those things. That's why I put this way up on a lot of the things I cut. There we go, it goes up that way. So I'm going to stick this down if I find my glue. Ooh. Okay. Very, very green in comparison, but this, once we get this on, it will tone it back down to that lovely sort of teal colour. Now, rather than try and stick it together off that, I'm going to stick it together on there, and I'm going to use my spray again because they're two very intricate dies. Just grab my box. One sticky bit, and make sure I've got them the right, or I say the right way up, the wrong way up, because I don't want to put glue on the front, I want to put glue on the back. Let me just, where did I put my spray? There it is. Okay. Okay, that's that sprayed. I'm just going to put that. Oh, this just popped off. Put that over there. Ooh, come on. Come on. And remember, it needs about 30 seconds if I can be patient enough to wait those 30 seconds. Let's see if I've got all the other bits that I need. Just going to grab my pearls to decorate with. And yeah, so let's put this one on first, roughly there. Like, ooh. Ah, now I know what it's because my my ink isn't dry. So we could have a slight issue here. Just bear with me. Let's see if I can use my speedball to get that to stick. The ink isn't dry. No, it's not going to stick. Right, rethink, rethink, rethink. what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little bit of my fine glue. It's not that there's anything wrong with the spray adhesive, it's just that because my inky background is still wet, it's just not having, I say it's not like sopping wet, it's damp, and the spray adhesive just doesn't seem to like that. Let's hope that putting this on is going to work. Fingers crossed. I'm not putting a lot on. I'm just putting just enough to hopefully get this on so that you can see how it works. What I am going to do is a little bit of a fail-safe, she says, is I'm going to put a little tiny bit of glue gel in the middle, because that stuff will stick to pretty much anything. So even if the rest doesn't stick, hopefully the middle of this will stay put. Right, so there we go. And we'll do the same on this one. We'll just add a little bit of this glue, acrylic glue. Onto the die cut. As I said, it's because my ink is still not completely dry that the spray glue did not want to stick, but we've got around it, so it's no problem. And we'll put a little bit of the 3D in the middle like we did before, just to have a fail-safe there, like so. Okay, now this is where we've got to line this up. Oh, if I can pick it up. Okay, that's there. So that one's lined up there, and that one is lined up there. There we go. Right over the top. And that's that done. That's good. So I'm going to slightly offset like this. So let's stick the I'm gonna use the 3D glue just so that I know it's going to stick on this, on there. Not that I want any height. It's not this. I'm not doing this for any height. I'm just doing this because I know this will grab and stick. So I'm just going to use that as a slight drop shadow. Well, it's not really a drop shadow because it's above it, but you know what I mean. And then we'll do our little pearls. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. And there we go. There is oh, come on, come on, come on. Like that. So it is. It will stick. There we go. Right, so there we have our second way of using our peacock die to create a very similar but also quite different card. So we've got a different image. The background has come out differently because I've gone much more with the Lucky Clover than the blueprint sketch, but it's still a very, very pretty card. So that's 2 ways with that die. And so my last demo for this live is the 3rd way to use this die. And let's put those to the side. This is where I'm now getting piles of things everywhere. A very quick tidy up here before I get myself in such a pickle that I can't find anything. Okay, that's rubbish, that can go. Right, so our last card, way down there, is this one. And I'm not going to make an identical copy of this one because this one is also from one of the 3D push-outs from the collection, the Colourful Feathers collection. So if I get that's ready. See what we're doing for time. Okay, right. So I'm not going to show you how to put this together. You've already seen me do one with the peacock, and it's the same principle. But this one is parrots, parakeets. I'm not overly au fait with all of that kind of thing, so I don't know what's what. But so these are the three you get. This one that I have used here, and I've got a list of the colours that I used on that one. I used picked raspberry. That's not the colours I'm putting out there. Let me just explain that. I looked at the colours on this topper, this decoupage topper, and matched them. And I used picked raspberry, kitsch flamingo, twisted citron, cracked pistachio, and peacock feathers. But the one that I'm going to use is this one. I decided to go with a circle one rather than another oval. I've picked out these colour inks to use, and that's Squeezed Lemonade, Mermaid Lagoon, Mowed Lawn, Candied Apple, and Tumbled Glass. So it's a completely different set of colours, but the idea and the technique is exactly the same. So, you know, and on here I'd probably pick out different ones. I'd probably have picked out an orange, maybe another pink for the flower. So you can do the same technique, just choose the colours depending on the topper that you are using. So so this time you can see the whole colour scheme is different. So I've got the same size card, but I've gone for a really bright blue, sort of that Mermaid Lagoon type blue. This is the piece of card that's going to go over here, and I'll explain how we're going to use that in a moment. I have this. Again, I'll explain that in a moment. I've cut a little frame that's just bigger than that. And then I've got a small circle, which will be the little mat for that. So we'll put that to the side, and I'll add that to the side. And I'll explain about this. So, this is the piece of card that is going to be on your card, and it will have the inked part on. So we're inking straight onto the card, but obviously not all over it. So what I've done for this one is, because I'm using a circle, I've cut a square of card, or a piece of card, that is just smaller than the piece that we're inking onto. And then what I did was the reason the lines are there is I kind of drew across and then roughly tried to put my circle die in the middle, so it was touching all of these. So just trying to sort of center that up. This one would have been done in a similar way, except I had an oval aperture, in my piece of card. So what I'm going to do, I am going to just very quickly clean off my inking mat with a piece of rice paper. Oh, there we go. Okay, and then I am just going to wipe that over with a piece of kitchen roll, just because I don't want it wet for this card. So, I'm just kind of thinking on my feet here. Not on my feet. I just think what I might do is I might cut this before I do this ink. But so yeah, I will do that. I'm just going to put that to the side, and I bring this die in, because I said I was going to use it in 3 ways. So what I want to do is I'm just going to cut this, and it doesn't matter what I cut it from. I know I used this just now you can see there's ink on it. It doesn't matter, because I'm using this as a stencil. So this is watercolor card. It doesn't matter. As long as it's not a thin paper, you need something that you're going to be able to stencil through. So let's just cut this again to use as our stencil for this card. See, this one, because watercolour card is quite heavy. We might need to put it through more than once. So we'll see how we go. Let's put it in. Oh, we don't need my stamping mat. We need those. There. So really I'm starting to work in an ever decreasing going through. Okay, slight issue. Slight issue with my machine, not wanting to take my plate. Okay, not going to panic. Coming out? Yeah. Right. Why are they not taking my plate? Bear with me. If not, I'm gonna improvise and use that one that I started painting on previous demo. But let's see. No. For some reason, it's not wanting to take my plate at all. Not even registering that I'm putting them in now. No. Okay. Right. Improvise. So where's the one? Here's the one that I started painting. It's not a problem. This is the last demo, so thankfully. So we'll use this one. It's okay. So what I'm going to do is I need some tape. Now, this is the reason why I have cut the little stencil, this little aperture bit smaller than my piece of card. It's just so that I know that it's fixed to that piece of card and isn't going to move. That said, it is really important that you make sure that you've covered all the bits. Now, if you have stencil tape, then by all means use stencil tape as opposed to effectively wasting your low-tack tape. My low-tack tape seems quite mucky. We'll have to see how that goes. Anyway, right, so I need to grab some brushes again. What do I need? I need one for tumbled glass. Roughly, I'll do, what have I got? Candied apple. I'll go with that one. Mowed lawn. Mermaid lagoon. That's a nice bright blue. And then I've got squeezed lemonade. So I need a bright yellow, that one. Right, so those are my colours. And what I want to do is to choose which colour is going to be the one that I'm going to mostly stencil through. And on this one, I used peacock feathers. On this one, I think I'm probably going to go mermaid lagoon. So that's the one that, for the moment, I'm going to avoid it in my background. All right. So let's get the lids off. It's the easiest thing to do first. And I can see what I'm doing. All my tons and tons of inks. Right, I'm going to start with my squeezed lemonade, and I am literally just going to, I don't know, just going to start inking. A bit of that, a bit of candied apple in. It's going to make a nice orange as well, those two. Mix. Lovely tumbled glass. Put that in the middle. We're all going to blend. So do be careful. Think about what it is you want to end up with, because I could end up with a really muddy mess here. Blue, green and red. When you put them together, sorry, blue, yellow and red, primary colours. If you just mix them all together, you end up with brown. So you just need to be a little bit careful that you are that you're not ending up with this mucky mess, that you're actually ending up with a nice blend, not a mess. Let's see how we're going to do it. Put some more of that on. that red is very strong. And can you see, as soon as my brush gets anywhere near it, it's dragging it in. So let's put some of the yellow over that and tone that down a little bit. Put a bit of the green around there. And a bit of blue over here. I really kind of want to get rid of that. There we go. Get rid of that little red bit that was lodged in the middle. Okay, we'll go. Maybe just put a little bit of red here. Just a little bit. A little hint of red around there. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this as a stencil. So I'm going to be wanting to put my parrots there. So I'm going to kind of put my stencil there so that I get maximum effect. And then I'm decided, remember, it was the Mermaid Lagoon that I wanted to go over this with. So I'm going to mostly go over with the Mermaid Lagoon. Could probably do with a bit to hold on my fingers. I might actually just put a little bit of that red in there. Just a little bit. Some of the yellow. Woo! Oh no, it's no point putting yellow down there, is it? Because we've got yellow already on there. And let's try a little bit of that down there. There we go. Now, this can be kept. You could use this if you inked it all over on a completely different project, because that still looks really, really good. Okay, let's put the lids on the inks so that we are not getting ourselves in a mucky mess, which doesn't take much with me. So just literally throwing it all in the box. I don't think you can see the box, which is probably for the best. Right, I am just going to give my fingers a little bit of a spray because I know I'm quite messy here. Right, so we're going to lift that off and work out which way around I did the tape. There's that. And don't worry about this because this is not, that's not even going to be seen. That's still on the mask. Okay, so we're going to take that off, and there is the bit that is going to be on our card. Okay, we're going to put our border around it like that. So where's my base card? Here's my base card. And I think I might have done a bit of card around the wrong way, but I'm not worried. So first thing I'm going to do then, this is completely flat. So you've got this really lovely circle of colour. Just looking for my glue. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. So let's stick that down there. And then I have the little frame for that. Like so. And then we have our parrot there. Actually, I want to stick that on first. Probably want to stick that on there first. I've got it. Ooh. There. And then we're going to stick this on there. So that one's quite well, quite quick and simple card, really. A little bit of masking off, with a little bit of inking, matching the colours to the topper. So although, as you can see, the technique, oh, just realised I haven't got any little I can't speak, my little pearls. Let's put those on just to finish it off. But as I was saying, you can see it's the same technique, different shape aperture, different colour inks, but you know, in all other respects, exactly the same kind of card. Just gives you another way to use your dies, use them as stencils, and it also gives a little bit more impact to your little lovely little 3D push out images. Okay, so goodness, we've got through a lot. How are we doing? Oh, pretty good on time. So we have made these two cards with using the peacock die from Amy Design Colourful Feathers as a stencil, with Amy Design 3D push-outs from the parrots. Here we have used the peacock die to make a doily, done some inking on the background, and then used the 3D push-outs from the peacock collection of the 3D push-outs. Then on our easel card, oof, if I can pull it in. On our easel card, we used peacock die in the way it was kind of intended, I suppose, to make a complete peacock, and we use those amazing Cosmic Shimmer watercolor pearlescent inks to paint that for our circle easel card. And then right back at the beginning, we did our fold back gatefold card with a belly band using the Precious Mariecki, the Cuddling on the Farm. Sorry, I just find it a weird name, but it's a lovely collection. Cuddling on the Farm. We used 2 dies from that collection to create that gorgeous little fold back gatefold card. Thank you very much for joining us today on a Facebook Live. Apologies for that little glitch in the middle, completely out of our control. The computer just said no and went blank. But hopefully we've recovered that. And the videos, the 4 projects, the video from the live will be split into 4 and put on the YouTube channel. That's Hixie Studio. Please make sure that you subscribe to that channel, and then you'll know when all the new videos are loaded. And please click like on our Hixie Crafts page, and that will tell you when we're going live next. Hopefully we'll see you next Friday at 2 for our next Facebook Live. Thank you for joining me.